Welcome back to the Krown's Codex. In this episode, we have a special guest that I know our story will resonate with a lot of you. He started his journey off as a soccer player and went to semi-professional, but unfortunately suffered from a severe injury. On the good note, he's turned this severe injury into a passion and now has become a personal trainer and injury prevention. And not only that, he's turned this passion into a successful business. So at the age of 23, he signed papers to his own gym and now has used this gym to coach over 500 people. So in this episode, we're going to dive into his mindset, his way of life, the challenges he's faced, and not only that, the tools he used to overcome them. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Give me like a little bit of rundown of your background and your journey.
Yeah, basically, I was a soccer player. That's basically where this all started. Is I played soccer. It was like the one thing I loved, right? It was like soccer, like any other little kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was playing as I was growing up. I loved it. It was like I lived and breathed it. And then I started to get injured heaps. So when I was about like 12, 13, the first one I copped was like Osgood-Schlatter's. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like
I've never heard that one.
when like the bone pulls off because you're growing too quick, the tendon basically pulls the bone off your leg. Pretty debilitating injury if you get it bad enough, which I did. And then I started to see a bunch of physios, a bunch of like these health practitioners that you know they're meant to fix you. They didn't do a great job. So then I ended up going to this gym in the east of Melbourne. And I was always a bit of a nerd. And when I was there, I would ask a lot of questions and they ended up fixing me in about a couple of weeks. I remember it was crazy. It was just like this strength and conditioning gym. So then I just fell in love with like the gym. I was like, wow, this is sick. Like no one could help me for like all these months. I think it might have...
What age were you at this time?
I was like 13, 14, right? So like I was really sad I couldn't play soccer. Like this was like the one thing I wanted to do, right? And I went to this gym. It was called Core Advantage. It's actually just shut down, or they've changed the name. They've kind of merged it to this other gym. It's in Oakley in the east of Melbourne. And yeah, I was so impressed with what they did with me that I just loved it. I just got obsessed with like this. I was like, I want to learn everything about the human body. So yeah, I just nerded out, started learning, and over time it's developed into learning more than just like injuries and strength and conditioning. Like it's just grown into this massive passion of mine. So
yeah. I've actually I do like research on the guests and all that. Your story is very similar to like mine. So it was actually quite interesting to look at.
Yeah.
Now, with that injury, I kind of want to dive a little bit into that because I know like for especially like young men, we play a lot of sport. Me, it was like basketball and all that kind of stuff. Similar story.
Yeah.
I feel like it's quite frequent where we get injured and we experience that. So what was that like being like not being able to do what you love?
I think it's a bit of grief. It's almost like you can't, when you're a kid, you don't have many things that drive your purpose. It's like, that is the thing, right? It's like that everyone wants to be an athlete or like whatever, right? That's usually like boys, that's what they want to do, is want to be a pro soccer player, pro basketball player, pro footy player. So yeah, I think it was just, you just lose it. It's like something's got taken away from you. And it's not about the pain of the injury. It's not about the injury itself. It's like you can't do the thing you love.
Yeah. What's going through your head? Like, because I remember spoke to like a profiler and just myself and through basketball. It can get pretty bad depending on like how long it was, the injury.
Yeah. So
like for your mental health.
I think as well, like, for my mental health, I mean, I wasn't someone that's I don't take things too deeply, like especially like injuries, but this was the one thing I remember, like I would sit in my room and I would cry, right? Like, yeah. So I remember being on the phone to my dad and being like, what do I even do? Like I'm trying everything, nothing's working. It was like, so I get when people are trying really hard at something and life just hits you the other way, it's super debilitating. It's I mean, it sucks, right? Like in whatever it is, whether it's injuries or like work or family or uni, you fail this, you fail that. So it's just like anything. It feels like a failure, even though maybe it's not necessarily your fault, or it could be. But Yeah.
So when you're in that kind of, how do you kind of work your way out of it?
Yeah, I think anytime you're in that down in the dumps, whatever it is, right, you have to seek support. This is what I say to everyone, and obviously I'm very grateful now. The people that come to me and are my clients are people that have kind of accepted that already, right? So I don't have to change their belief on that.
Yeah.
But you know, if I had have tried to do it alone 100 times, I probably still wouldn't have, or maybe, right? But it would have taken a lot longer and it would have been a lot harder. And just because I saw one person and it didn't work doesn't mean there's not someone out there that can help you, right? And I think that's really important because a lot of people, especially as men, we have big egos sometimes. Like we want to do it ourselves, right? We get a lot of pride in doing things ourselves, but seeking support is like one of the best things I did. And now, not only in injuries, like business, just life advice, relationships, like there's other people that have gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and there's people that study this stuff to help and dedicate their life to help you in this certain thing. So definitely like seek support. I think that's number one. Like that's the one thing I'd say is like get the help you need.
Would you say that at first you were a bit resistant to that, or?
I think when you're desperate enough, you can get over the resistance. I think for sure, like initially everyone's first thought is like, let me do this myself, or let me save some money. Let me research it myself. It's like, it's a cool feeling to be able to know you're like independent and you did it yourself, right? Whatever it is. But when you're desperate enough, you seek the help. When your health is, or the one thing you want to do is like taken away from you, you're going to go find someone, I think. Or you should anyways. You should.
No, that's good. So you've had the soccer journey and it's kind of like triggered, I guess, your passion for coaching. Mm-hmm. When did you start coaching?
Yeah, when did I start coaching? I think, so actually the first job I ever had was a steam cleaner, but that was off the books. The first actual job I had was a soccer coach, futsal. So eventually I started playing futsal, like 5-a-side. Then I went to outdoor, but I was still always in the futsal community. Still am. And yeah, my coach was like, hey, like I don't want to do this forever. Like, do you want to take over the juniors? And I was like, okay. And I loved it. Keep in mind, I was a really introverted kid as well. So coaching was like a bit far out of my comfort zone, but I knew what I was doing, right? Like I'd been coached by some really good coaches. So I loved it. I like grew into the role. I think I got a lot of confidence. I got a lot of fulfillment out of like passing on knowledge. And I was like, this is cool. And I was like, how can I do this as a job? That's really what I was like looking at. I was like, how can I make money and also live a healthy, like active lifestyle? Because one of the things I didn't want to do is sit at a desk 9 to 5. I really, really didn't want to do that. I knew that for a fact. And then I was like, well, what else do I like? And at the time, I started to go to the gym heaps. This was like year 11, year 12. I would have been like 16, 17. And my confidence grew even more. So I went from like an introverted, shy kid. I wasn't super shy, but I was to the point where I would not like what I am now. I was very different, right? Naturally, I'm pretty introverted. And
what do you mean by intro? I feel like, did you struggle with like speaking or?
Not really. I think I kept to my own a lot. I don't necessarily, even now, like I speak to a lot of people, like, I don't know, 20 people a day minimum, like clients, right? And I still have my battery seems drained after a while of speaking to a lot of people, right? And I think when you have like an extroverted person, sometimes they get energy out of being around people, which is not like me at all. I don't think I'll ever change that. As much as I love socializing, I love being with people. And ultimately my job is for people. But yeah, I ended up just like, back to what I was saying is like with the confidence is like, coaching and passing on this thing was really fulfilling, that it just gave me all this confidence. And then the gym gave me more confidence. And then I went back to playing soccer and I stopped getting injured, which was the coolest thing ever. I was like, oh, well, now I'm not scared to play because I'm going to like injure myself and be in pain for another 6 months or whatever it was, right? So I was like, how can I pass this on? So ended up going to uni. I was very lucky to land a job while I was in uni, which is like really hard to do in my field. And started training people, just like thrown in the deep end. He was like, yeah, your first clients tomorrow start. And literally just learning, like messing up. Am I allowed to swear?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I tend to swear a lot, but yeah, literally just fucking up, like
Yeah.
fucking up just over and over again and learning. And what I did was, I have a bit of an obsessive personality. Like when I like a topic, I'll go deep and I'll really research it. And I would do that with everything. Everything first, it was strength and conditioning, human body anatomy, and then nutrition, and then dieting and like eating disorders and the psychology. Now I love psychology. I would be a psychologist if it didn't take 8 years in uni or whatever, whatever it takes, right? So yeah, I was just like, how can I learn so much about people that I could help them with as many things that they throw at me? So that's where I'm at now, and it's like it's a long journey to learn everything, and I don't think I ever will, but the more I do, the better I could help people. So yeah, started coaching 18. I think it's been 6 years. 7 years.
Right.
Yeah.
You have like such a like similar. It's weird because obviously I've looked into you, my guess, and that you haven't really looked at me, but it's basically very the same. Like I can relate to being like, you know, basketball. Basketball got me into coaching for basketball, and then being like that obsessed with nature. And but for me, it kind of not just training, spread into, you know, finance and psychology. Like exactly what you said. If I was to go back in time, knowing what I know now, I probably would have went to uni for psychology, just for like the whole mindset and all that. So yeah, it's crazy hearing you say all that.
Yeah.
But
It's funny because I remember the exact moment I decided to not go to uni for psychology. And it was because my dad's an engineer. He's like the most logical thinking dude. And he's like, he's Latino, right? He like doesn't believe in like mental health. Not anymore, right? Not anymore. But like at the time, I'm sure it was like, depression, that's not real. And I was like, oh, Dad, like, what about this psychology unit? Because I remember that's when you're picking subjects for year 12. And I was like, or year 11. And I was like, what about this psychology thing? Like, I'm kind of interested in that. And he was like, oh, nah, that's just all made up. It's not a real science and sort of thing. And I was like, oh, okay. That was it. That was the conversation.
Yeah.
And had you been like, yeah, do it, I probably would have done it and I would have taken it further. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So with the soccer, you go into the coaching. When did you like? I know that you've just signed recently papers to a gym. Is that how you envision it playing out, or did you have like a different idea?
I remember when I went to that gym, Core Advantage, that I was speaking on, that strength and conditioning gym in the East, that really helped me. They had a podcast, actually, funnily enough. So a lot of what I learned started off listening to their podcast, and they would go through like every episode, a certain injury and stuff. And I thought it was the coolest thing. Like I thought the guy that ran it, I was like, this is such a cool job. He's Darren McInnes. I don't even know. He might. I hope he watches this. Knows what impact he had on me. I've met him before, but yeah. And I would watch their podcast, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I don't know if I set a goal till later on to own a gym, but definitely at some point in time, I was like, this is what I want. I just really didn't expect it to come this quick. Like it happened really quick. From the point I started my own business and like went on my own as a PT to having a gym, it was less than 12 months, which was wild to me, right? Like
that's crazy.
And now I've got staff, and it's like, whoa, now I'm a boss. I'm telling people what to do. It's real strange. Like past 12 months have been strange to me, but it's good.
How's that been with, you know, your age?
Yeah, it's been funny, right? Because I took over an existing gym. Kind of rebranded and converted it into my own, but I took over the systems and the staff, and they're all not all now, but when I got there, they were all older than me. And one of the first conversations I had was like, look, I am where I am in my journey, and like, we're going to have to like get past this age thing. And like, if anyone has a problem, like speak up now sort of thing. And thankfully for me, like everyone was super like respectful, and they were like, no, like you're the boss. Like we're going to follow your vision, and it's been an amazing team. Like everyone's been super easy and great to work with, and I love my staff, and it's good because I could have just as easily not got lucky and had someone that had like big egos and like, I'm older than you, I know more than you, but not at all. I think they respected what I went through, and like in saying that I'm 23, but I have been coaching for a long time. Like I have been doing this, and I do put in the hours, so I don't have that imposter syndrome that maybe I had a few years ago. Of course, everyone always has imposter syndrome, but it's a lot better now. I'm a lot more confident in what I can do because I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
So I think I'm very grateful for my staff. They're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty, just having that conversation with, your team, especially that age. For me, I have to, for me looking in, that's pretty impressive because I feel like where my mind is, I'm curious where, the confidence and, how you're grounded to even have that conversation, or did it play out very awkwardly, or?
No, it was great. I think what I tend to do is I've been surrounded by some really cool people. One, my dad is just like my idol. Like he's taught me so much, right? And he still continues. Like I still lean on him for a lot of knowledge and support. But I've had some really cool people around me, whether it's family, soccer coaches, like teachers, and then I've gone myself and like found all these cool mentors and people that are doing things that I want to do one day. And I tend to just emulate what they're doing. Like if they speak in a certain way, I think I just that's how anyone learns, right? It's like you copy, like success leaves clues. Someone's doing something, you want to copy them because like they're doing the thing you want to do, right? Like it makes sense. So I think I had some good bosses. I had some bad bosses. So I took the good out of the good bosses and I saw what a bad boss would do and I didn't want to do that. And I had a lot of different jobs in my time, jobs I loved, jobs I hated, both in and out of the industry. So I think I'm just trying my best to piece it together. And I'm sure I'm making mistakes along the way, and I have, and I will continue to do so, and that's business. But
Who was like the biggest impact?
damn, I wish I could say one person. I think recently I went out and invested a lot of money in a mentor after uni. So I did my bachelor's and I was deciding whether to do a master's, and there was this cool course called Trinity that was going on. And the whole idea was, it was Trinity because there's like 3 parts, right? It's like the knowledge part of it, teach you like everything, the technical side of dieting, coaching clients, building businesses. The other part was like walking the walk, like you were held accountable. Like, are you doing the things you're learning? Are you actually going to be someone that's admired in your field? And then the other part was like the connection and the support. Like everyone, there was only 10 of us and we were all going through the same journey of building businesses together.
So just a course through uni?
No, this was like separate. So this was like the fork in the roads where I was like, do I do a master's or do I do this like weird mentorship I found on the internet and like pour 30 grand into this thing, which is how much it cost at the time, right? I think it costs more now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, it was a wild, I just went out on a limb and the guy that ran it, Alexander, he was someone that walked the walk, and he set a really good example of like what it was like to just be a high level operator in business, in life, and like then also in his relationship at the time, it was like kind of building. So it was cool to see him in real time. And I had followed this guy from back in the day because he was working at this amazing strength and conditioning gym. And I saw his growth and the growth in the first intake, and I was part of the second intake. This isn't like a pitch to get everyone into this course, by the way, but it really did help me.
But I'm a big advocate. Like, there's like kind of, do it on your own, do it with someone. And like, obviously having someone by your side as a mentor, as a coach will help you so much. What surprised me was like the 30 grand. That's one, because like, if I was younger, I'm not sure when you did this, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he does this now. Well, one, like I think, how much is Hexstead? Like Hexstead is sometimes even more than that. So to me, I was just like comparing it to that. And I was like, well, if I'm going to spend 30 grand on Masters of Physiotherapy, for example, is what I was looking at. It was more than 30 grand. And I was like, well, what am I getting out of it? Like, I'm going to be a physio and then I'm going to be able to rehab injuries. I'm like, cool. And then if I do this course, it's like, what am I getting out of that? It's like, well, I'd probably have a business. Like looking at from the first intake, they all went from like having a crappy or no business to like making 6 figures. And like, you could see the change in themselves more than anything. Whereas like people that go through uni, they don't necessarily have that change in themselves. They just really do get like a qualification at the end of it, which is cool, right? I'm not against uni. For some people, it's great. But yeah, I was like comparing the two, and what really did it for me was at the time, he doesn't do this anymore, unfortunately, because he did get burned a few times for doing this. He was like, I'm so confident in the business and finance side of things. You don't have to pay me till you start making the money off the course. And I was like, done. Like, it's a no risk. Like, he's having this mad guarantee. And obviously, the idea is you work hard for it. And there was some students that didn't, so now he got rid of it. But thankfully, I was the one of the few that did. So yeah,
you paid him afterwards?
Yeah, I paid him. I made well more than the 30 grand from that course, I think.
Wow.
Not to say, like, again, maybe I could have done it myself, but like, what do I get out of finding out? Like, I don't know, 30 grand.
Like, I feel like in terms of getting results, it's a great idea.
It was a great deal, right?
Obviously didn't last.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and I think now he has enough proof and like people that have gone through it where he's like, it works, right? People don't need that low risk sort of entry. But yeah, it wasn't 30 grand up front. It was like you paid it slowly over time. The more you made, the more you paid. But it was like I was fully immersed, like studying. I mean, hours and hours a week, and there was calls and there was retreats around the world, which I got heaps out of, and you got a lot back for the money that you paid, more than, dare I say, uni. Yeah. So definitely, I don't regret doing it, and I don't think anyone that's done it has really regretted it, to be honest. So It's a cool thing he's building. And I don't know how long he's going to do it for, because I know he puts a lot of effort into it. So, yeah, maybe if someone's watching and they want to jump in early, they should. But
yeah, I think the guaranteed is what makes it worth it. But I'm curious, would you have done it if you had to pay the 30 grand up front?
I don't know. I've had this conversation with him. I don't think so. I was like pretty hesitant to do it anyways, because I knew how much time and effort it was going to take. And it's kind of scary when someone's like, yeah, this is going to like basically consume your next year or so of your life. You're like, oh shit, do I want that? But I guess it's not for everyone. Some people, it will work for what they wanted. And all I knew is I wanted a business in the fitness industry. And he was the one at the time that could have helped me the most, I think, of everyone I knew. And of course, there's always like these business mentors and stuff, but I don't know. I'm someone like, if I'm going to invest in someone, I got to see they're doing it themselves. And he was doing it themselves. Like, he was training. He had a business. He had a similar path to me in that, like, we started with strength and conditioning and in Melbourne. And so I don't know, it worked for me. It doesn't mean everyone has to go through this one course. I'm sure there's other ways people can find help, but for me, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think looking in that course only works with a certain somebody. And I feel like you were that certain somebody.
Yeah.
So, I want to dive a little more, like, I feel like you're very ambitious, a good student, all that kind of stuff. Where does that come from?
I think part of it is back to soccer. Part of it is a lot probably started from like a regret of me not trying hard enough in soccer. I was a very naturally talented, if you want to use that word. Like, I would put very little effort in terms of training and get a lot out. Like, I was improving very quickly up until the point where I got injured, really. Like from 9 to 14, I was like, I wasn't putting that many hours outside of just team training, and I was improving quicker than everyone else. Probably because I had a dad that was passionate and also put time into me outside of the sport, the team sport.
So it was your dad got you into it.
My dad got me into it. Yeah. It's like it's a Mexican thing, man. Every kid plays soccer in Mexico. But I loved it because obviously when you're good at something, you tend to like it. So, and having the dream of being a pro athlete, at the time, no one tells you how much work it really takes. And I guess part of it is like a regret of not having the work ethic that I could have had. Like, I had the time, I had the ambition. It was just like doing it. So it was really just like a fact of like, do it or don't do it, right? And I chose to not do it. And maybe that's why also I got injured, because like I didn't foresee the future of like, these are the problems that are going to come, right? So
did you always have that belief, or was it someone else that believed in you that just kind of like, if I wanted to do this, I could?
I think you get told it. right? And whether it's true or not, like it ends up being a belief, which once you believe something, it's like I am of the thought that once you believe something, it is true because I mean, nothing's really stopping anyone from becoming a pro athlete. Like people that think it's
I mean, like specifically for you, like,
Yeah.
because for me it was my mom. Like she was always there on the sidelines and all that kind of stuff, and she was like my number one supporter. So it made me feel like I could do anything, and I still feel that way today. So that's where, like, I guess where I got that feel from, and I was just like, and I've had a lot of success because, you know, I had that ambition, discipline side, but that belief was like.
I think at the time I didn't really believe it, and that's kind of part of the problem. Is like now I look back and I was like, I actually was a talented kid, but at the time I think I was probably scared of being arrogant or would kind of like I said, I was a little, my confidence wasn't fully there, so I think it was a confidence and belief problem rather than like I had the belief, but then you know it's a bit of both. Like it's a bit of chicken and egg, which one comes first? But I think. Yeah, maybe I did need someone to be like, no, you can do it in my ear, or maybe I just needed to get that through my own thinking. But I think that's what drives me now to be like very grateful for opportunities that are presented in front of me, because like that was an opportunity. Now I have opportunities, and now I try and grasp them with two hands when they get thrown at me. So I think it was more a great lesson that I learned early in my life. I think more than anything, I'm not like regretful or shameful of it now.
Yeah.
I think it was an amazing lesson. It's like when shit's thrown at you that you can use and take it, because like it doesn't always get like you're not always gonna have these things thrown at you, whether it's whatever, right? Like,
how did that reflection come about?
Well, one of the great things about this Trinity course that I did, and I hate that I'm talking about it so much. It sounds like I'm pitching
this
it.
is free promo. He's probably like, yeah.
I'll send this to us. He'll love this. But
so I'll take the first advert.
but he made us reflect a lot. He was very introspective himself, and I was always very introspective. Like I would always think about what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking of it. And he made us actually like reflect, write it down, like very. And as men, we don't like. I feel like women do this much better than men. They sit with their thoughts and their feelings a lot more. Sometimes men can just go through life just like reactively, right? Just like whatever's thrown at us, like we just solve as it goes, right? Rather than thinking about the problems before they come. So, or like trying to learn off previous problems, which is like in this case what we're talking about. So, yeah, really starting with like, what do you want out of life? Why do you want it? Where's the proof that you can do it? And where's like, and why do you have to do certain things to get there? And it's like you piece things together from your past. Like, well, I tried this, it didn't work. I didn't try this, and I probably should have. And I think for me, it was that reflection and talking to people that are ultimately had these reflections before, so they were able to give me the guidance. And it's so important, so important.
Yeah, I remember like now that I was speaking to like a couple of experts and all that kind of stuff, it's those little boring things that have such an impact.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah.
And it's so hard because I have two little brothers, and I'll speak to them about these things. And when you're young, it's so hard to think so far ahead. Like everyone always talks about 5-10 year goals and stuff. It's like when you're 14, you're not. Most people aren't thinking about 10-year goals. You're thinking about like the weekend and like getting past school. So the sooner you can start to think about these things, like I think the better off you are. And yeah, it's funny because I speak to my brothers now and I want them to go through these reflections, but they're not at the age yet where they can have those conversations sometimes. But it's funny, like I know eventually it will just come.
So you're the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Oh,
yeah.
You're the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest?
I have one older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you know, I'm trying to develop programs to help young men, and it's just like, you know, these things like what you said with your little brother, it's like, bro, how do I make this interesting? Like,
it's so hard, yeah.
Like, it's so important. I can't just like like change it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the basics. It's like the footwork for soccer. Like I can't change that.
Right.
So it's like, how do I teach it in a way where, you know, they're actually interested? So that's definitely been a challenge. I actually looked at one of your posts, and it was one thing I actually really liked is, you know, I've looked at other gyms posts, and your one, I was reading this post, and it was actually took a different element. I was thinking something along the lines that you don't need more like discipline or a perfect plan, but it talked about emotional and stress regulation. So
Yeah.
how does that play into like your teaching?
Yeah, I think this is something I learned just from seeing clients and clients and clients. And ultimately, everyone has similar desires and ambitions. Like, we're all driven by the same thing, whether that's like first survival, and then it's like social, community, purpose. There's all these things, status. But it's not the actual motivation or desire that changes, it's like your environment. And if your environment isn't conducive to help you get through the process of whatever it is you want to get to, right? And it doesn't really matter what we're talking about here, but stress is typically puts you in that survival mode first. So you stop to think about all these other things you want, and it's just like, get through the day, get through the week, get through the year, right? And what stress does to the body, and like everyone likes to talk about cortisol, and it's not only that, it's like stress is really debilitating. And I mean, like, the one thing I say now is, like, for example, someone's trying to lose weight. It's like, you can't lose weight if your job is stressing you out every day and you're like in mad stress, or your family life is super stressful. It's like, you have to fix the environment first and manage stress whichever way you can, whether it's removing the things that are stresses or learning how to manage it, before you can achieve certain things, right? I think it's like, that is the foundation of a good process. Like, to have this process to happen efficiently, you need to have the stress manageable, to be manageable. And we can talk about many ways to do so. It'll be different for everyone, and some people.
What's your, like, if someone like a kid or a young teen came up to you, what's like your one go-to?
Yeah, I think this is like a case by case thing. I find a lot of people, it's whatever they do the most is typically what stresses them. So work typically is a big one. It's funny, I've had clients that, through our conversation over a few months, mind you, like, this isn't an immediate change, but they end up leaving their work just because they realize, like, they can't have their work and like a healthy life. And it's like, it's such a big realization to them that they're just like, oh, well, I have no choice, right? Like, it's like, I want both of these things. I want to make money and I want a healthy life, but I can't have them both. So you have to change something, right? When you're a child, I think, unfortunately, a lot of things are out of your control, like family life, and but there's some things in your control, like who your friends are, right? And it's like, who are you hanging around with? How's their stress? Like, how's their environment? That's why sport is so great, because you get access to all these people that are typically healthy, striving for the best. Like, everyone's there to enjoy as well. So it's like a low stress, or it can be low stress environment, or somewhere like an outlet to manage stress too. So that's the great thing about sport. I think when you're young, is like, that's what kids look forward to. And even when you're not young, honestly, like, everyone's just a big kid. Like, adults are just big kids. Play sport. Like, it's one of the coolest things you can do. I still, to this day, love competing in whatever it is. And any way I can fit it in, I do. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I can see how, you know, there's so many factors, like, considering what environment is people, that it's really hard to sometimes pinpoint and like give it to someone. Now, you've also coached like, you know, over 500 people. Would you say this is a big, like, one of the biggest, or is it something else that's contributing to their health?
Yeah, I think for sure when we speak about the health of a person, there's many different factors that you have to consider. It's environment's a big one, and I think it starts there. For example, like if you live in like a polluted city, it's like you can't, nothing in your control is going to change that other than moving. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, let's go like if someone walks into your gym,
right.
what is the first thing that you feel like you can do? Like obviously you can't change their job and all that, but what's the things that you can do to help them?
Yeah, I think it starts from habit building. So it's like, okay, we typically do an audit, and this is with my like high level clients that are like really got complex health conditions or one like are really serious about their goals. It's like, what time are you waking up? what are you eating? What are you inputting? Like what are you seeing on social media too? Like what are the conversations you're having with friends? Like are you always hanging around with food at the table? Are you always like smoking? Are you always drinking? It's like this is your part of your environment. If you don't change that, you'll almost like never get to the result, unfortunately, right? So I think that's where we always start is like, what do you want? Okay, and like what's your living conditions like now, and like what's the easiest things to just immediately remove or change, just swap over.
I'm gonna chuck a scenario at you because I'm curious. So let's say you do an audit, and I'm just scrolling on TikTok, I'm eating junk food and all that. Like, I basically am super lazy to just stay at home. I've come to you, we do this audit, and now you're aware of this, I'm aware of this. What happens then?
Yeah, I think the cool thing about people coming to me is that they have the desire to change, right? And I think that's like the first step, right? If someone's actually really lazy, like they typically don't come to me, right? It's like at some point they just like something is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and they're like, all right, I need to change, right? So they've accepted change needs to happen, which is like the hardest thing to get someone to accept in the first place. But let's say in that scenario,
have you ever had to convince someone that like have you ever had someone like resist?
Yeah, all the time. But that's the framing I say to them is like, you've come to me for a reason, right? It's like, what's that reason? That's the first conversation we have is like, what is the reason? I literally write down everyone's reason. And like, whenever they don't want to do something, I just show them the reason. I'm like, what's more important to you? Like scrolling TikTok or this? Well, whatever it is, right? And it's funny because when you ask people their reason, people have a hard time being honest about why they want the things they want. And it's something I dig really deep. And I know the first conversation I have with clients is pretty uncomfortable. It's like, all right, you want to lose weight. Why? It's like, oh, I just want to look better. It's like, nah. Like, I know that's not it, right? It's like, no, I'm single. I want a family. Like, it's like deeper things, right? It's like, oh, you want kids, right? That's going to give you a purpose. It's like, you don't just want to look better. Like you want to, sure, it's going to give you confidence and stuff, but that's typically not the reason people do things. Or even like something on the surface level is like a kid wants to be a pro athlete. It's like, why? It's like, oh, I like playing my sport. It's like, that's not the reason. Like if you really sit there and think with your thoughts and emotion, and this is why like men are the hardest to coach sometimes at the start because they suck at explaining why they want things because they've never actually thought about the emotion of what's behind it. It's like, okay, why do you want to become a pro athlete, right? And I've had this conversation with like teenagers that come to me and they're like, I want to be a pro boxer or whatever. It's like, why? Why do you want that? It's like, oh, well, I just think it would be cool. It's like, no. Like, why do you want that? It's like, oh, well, actually my dad died and I need to provide for my family. It's like something a lot deeper, right?
Deeper.
And then it's like, okay, when you don't eat the thing I tell you to, I'm like, wait, do you remember you told me this? And it's like, is that still the case? It's like, yeah, okay, well, like, what are we going to do? And usually that just intrinsically motivates them, even though it's me saying it, it comes from them and within like their actual desire. And I think that's the place where most people, if they just operated from that, this whole motivation thing is kind of BS because like some days you're going to feel motivated, some days you aren't, but the desire doesn't change. What you want out of life is the same. And I know it's the same for me, and it can change over time, but it doesn't change day to day. It changes like over time, gradually, and typically it's a similar thing you want.
So they kind of sometimes will give like a circular and you try and get that real deep reason for why.
You have to. Yeah.
You have to.
Otherwise they stop. Yeah.
Yeah. So how you get to that core is generally just keep asking why until you just get that. Is that essentially what?
Basically, yeah. It's obviously asking the right questions. Sometimes that's where like someone like a psychologist, like a high level psychologist could probably do a better job than me. But me with the reps in, like I tend to find a way in, and get people's real reason and desires. And that's where like my job is like on the really like resistant people, is like get them to actually tell me what it is they want, right? And it's typically around like big fears. Like it's typically like a fear-based thing. It's like, I don't want to die early. I don't want like my kids to see me die early, like something like big, right? Or like I don't want to be a bad example to my kids, or I want my partner to love me forever and not leave me. Like it's all this like stuff that's really deep, and like it's a lot more important than just like, oh, I want to look good naked in the mirror, or like not that that's a bad thing to desire, but typically it won't last very long, right? Like people get to like 30 and like they just stop caring about how they look.
From your point of view and like your experiences, how do you know you've hit that sweet spot where, you know, that's the core?
Yeah, I think with a lot of people, when we have this conversation, they get emotional. Like it's pretty common, like we're having this conversation and they start crying, not because they're sad, but because like it's tapped into an emotion they've like kind of pushed away and held back for so long. Or they are aware of it, but they've done nothing about it. So it's like frustration. It's like, I really want this thing. It's like, I'm telling you and I'm like trusting you with this thing. So I don't take that lightly. And that's why I love my job, is like, if I can help them even get slightly closer to that, I think it's very important. So I think that's the answer, is like just when they get emotional.
No, I've seen it as well. It's like, you know, you kind of why, and then I've seen it where they haven't even said the answer and they just start tearing up. I'm like,
Right.
what's happening? Like,
Right.
And then they get to that, and it's just like, that's what I have to agree with you on that one. How typically, like, do you reckon you could just smash it out in one session, or do you?
Yeah, typically, like most of my onboarding with clients, and now it's a bit different because
This whole process of get into this,
yeah. So typically, I do a really long onboarding call, where it's basically get to that. Like once I know why they're here, that's when the coaching actually starts, and I give them a plan. Like before I know why, it would be kind of disingenuous for me to be like, all right, this is your meal plan. Like, this is your training plan. Like, it's not, I just don't think that's how it works. It's like, first I need to get to that, and then I give them the coaching, right? The coaching side of things, which is easy. Like the coaching side is not the hard part. It's like the breaking into that and piecing it all together. Yeah.
Have you had like one client that has like had like a really big transformation that you actually you can think of?
Yeah, I'm actually the biggest one. I can say her name now actually, because she agreed to. We actually filmed a testimonial video. Her name's Jess, and I don't want to tell her story for her. I'm actually got a video coming out of her story, but I'll give you the rundown. She came to me. She was about 100 and something kilos. Very unconfident lady. Like just came in under NDIS support. Had a very horrific story. Like we're talking sexual abuse, suicide attempts, like in the psych wards for part of her life, like bad relationships. So a lot of it was out of her control, really. In fact, most of it was, which was the heartbreaking part of the story, is like she didn't choose to do a lot of the things that happened to her. It just happened because of ultimately evil people, right? And she came to me, and well, I was just like, look, if we can just have this one controllable, which is like your training, and you just show up, like I think it will be the base for you changing your life, right? Or maybe I didn't say this to her, but that was my thought process. And I just made sure and kept her accountable to showing up. That was just like the first step, is just like show up, show up, show up. And she did. Like thankfully she did, right? She just showed up. She used to train with me. I think she started on 2 times a week, then went to 3 times a week, then 5 times a week. And now she's like almost at her goal weight. Like she's like she's like 65 kilos, I want to say.
Shit.
Yeah, she actually lost a lot of weight on her own even before that, just like starving herself, which no one should do. But overall she's lost about 80 kilos, I think. 60
Wow,
to 80
that's a
kilos.
lot,
Yeah, if I remember correctly. But not only that, like it's more about who she has become in the process has been incredible. Like now such a nice lady. Like not that she wasn't nice before, but she's now like openly like wants to help people and like is like such a congruent, like sticks to her word, like is very yeah, just very active and trying to do things, trying to gain back her independence, like and she has all this support from the government because of like things that happened to her, and she's like, nah, I don't need it anymore, like let me try find my own life and find my own purpose. And it's cool. Like she came to me like debilitating back pain, like she was like couldn't walk, and the thing that scares me the most about this story is that there's probably other people like her out there. She was just the one that's like found the support. And I don't think it was me that did it. It was just the fact that she wanted to change, right? But yeah, we had a conversation the other week, and she was like, I would go to doctors and like I would explain these things, and like they would just like hand me a pill, and it was just like
I hate that.
And I love doctors. They save lives, right? Like doctors are cool. Maybe I'd even be one if it didn't mean I had to go through a lot of uni. But yeah, when you look at something through one lens, it is difficult to help humans, which are like we're multifaceted. Like we have a lot of things that we need to change. So yeah, I think
that's a
it's a pretty
amazing transformation. It's crazy. Now, I'm curious, what did you actually do to make her show up?
because I recognized she was probably uncomfortable in the gym, and like just her taking that step is such a big step. And like people that sign up to a gym, like I worked at a commercial gym, like they typically it takes a lot of courage for them to even just sign up or just to show up. So making an environment where they feel like safe and comfortable, for their nervous system, just like we were chatting about before, is like really good, right? Because they're in this like space where they feel safe. And then B, it's like it just removes the friction of them showing up the next time, right? And it's like if they can feel heard and like someone cares about them, that's the biggest thing, especially when for them it's such a big step to just simply show up. For some people it's like not such a big step to show up, but for those people that really struggle and have struggled in the past, you have to try and make it as frictionless as possible. And I guess that's what I'm trying to do at the gym now, is like build this sick environment where everyone's happy to show up and they feel like they're missing out if they don't.
Yeah, it's I've noticed that because come back to Melbourne, but yeah, that story is 80 kilos is.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I think for me the coolest part, like sure the weight loss is cool, and for sure it's like at that point at this scale it's like super healthy for her to lose the weight, right? But like even something as silly as like, well, not silly, but the debilitating back pain, like to me, like I really resonated with that, because she came to me, she was like, man, like I can't go upstairs, like I can't walk for more than a couple minutes without my back just like being in agony. And like now she's like 15,000 steps. Like I have to tell her to stop walking, because like I'm like, look, like maybe we should take a rest day. Like you've done a lot this week, like so yeah, I think it was everything together, and it was all because of like she just wanted to seek the help and listen. Like it was a cool story, and I think if I can replicate that over and over again, I'll be very fulfilled like for a long time. And yeah, when all my coaches are now taking her, and she loves the team at the gym, so it's just a cool story. I just love it. Yeah.
No, that's cool that your team's also helping out now. So you have like the coaching side. I can see that you love and all that, but there's also which I like about your story is you also have that business side, which is which I want to dive a little more into. So, I mean, 24?
24.
24. Bought a gym at 23. So, how's that transition been as a business owner?
Yeah. It's been interesting because when I started, it was just, I was a PT for a company. That was actually when I started the mentorship, and he was basically like, quit. Like, I was like, well, and I was like, no, like, I'm not going to quit. And then it took me a few months. I was really resistant to it, right? I was like, no, what do you mean quit my only source of income? He was like, no, quit, start your own thing. So I did. And eventually I did. And when I started, it was like, all right, now just hustle. It was like, get your clients, sell them, like understand how to manage clients, manage your time, like personal.
Was this your dream or?
No,
Like, I think you mentioned it a little bit, or was it kind of?
I think the commercial, so when I joined the commercial gym, it was like a stepping stone for me to have a business. And he more saw it as like, my mentor kind of recommended it to me as like more of like a step to understand how to sell yourself basically. Because when you're in a PT at a gym floor, it's like like the gym isn't doing the selling for you. Like you have to go out there on the gym floor and like talk to Sally and Joe and Timothy and be like, hey, like you want a PT session? And most of them go, fuck off, out of my face, right? And
Yeah.
and then you get the couple that are just like, yeah, and like sure. And first you're working for free. You're like, yeah, you want a free hour of my time?
Yeah.
And they're like, all right. And then they're like, oh, this is actually quite good. And then you start to build up your confidence that way. And then you're like, okay, well, actually, I charge this much. And so I think, I mean, I'm sure maybe you're familiar with Alex Hormozy, but
Yeah.
I like his thing where he talks about like people in the fitness industry and PTs, they have some of the best sales skills in the world because like you're selling something that's like, hey, I'm going to get you this result, but it's going to take a bunch of time, a bunch of money, a lot of effort, and you got to see me every week. Like it's like such a hard sell that you end up getting really good at like explaining the benefits of what you do, and it kind of grows your confidence in a way of like, hey, like I actually believe in what I'm doing, like because if I didn't, I can't sell, right? So I think that to answer your question, like that's the start of business for me, is like getting good at sales, obviously being good at what you do, and then once I was able to piece those two together, it was just like a real easy like upwards journey, I think.
Now I'm curious because I feel like on the outside we can obviously see the success that you've had and all that. I'm curious and want to explore like the behind the scenes, because I know me personally, like I was building a course and I was talking from experiences, and then when I tried to put it all together of what I've learned and where I've learned it and get all the resources, I was like, holy, that's a lot. I can't just do that. So I'm curious what it was for you, like books, mentors, all that. Damn. Like what sources did you use and like draw from?
So many. Yeah, there's so like I think I genuinely could be here many episodes talking about everything I drew it from, but definitely like it started from, I grew up around a business. My grandmother had a business.
Your grandma?
Yeah, my grandma had a business.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, so back in Mexico, because I was born in Mexico, I grew up and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I saw hard work like in the flesh. I was like, oh, they were just always doing something, right? And then I also saw like the fruits of their labor, and I was like, this is cool. Like you get like a bit of freedom from doing this. I was like, this is mad, right? And I also saw the other side. I was like, oh damn, like we're earning the same amount every month, and like there's no growth in this, and that frustrated me as a kid, right? Because once we're here in Australia, there was no business. It was just like salary jobs from my parents. So then I was like, no, I knew the path I wanted to take. And I started consuming business content through YouTube and things. And then there was like book recommendations made, and I started to read books. I think a lot of the knowledge I found was from books. Like the two I remember like vividly. The two I remember the most was the two I remember the most is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That really that book, like that was the first one, and it blew my mind. I was like, fuck, like I started doing it and I started seeing like it works, and I was like, whoa, like you can actually like apply books to like life, because before I was just like reading like Harry Potter and shit, right? And Think and Grow Rich, that was a cool book because I was very logical in my thinking. I was like, I didn't believe in like manifesting or like thinking things and then they happen, or like changing your beliefs and then it's going to change your behavior. It was more like, oh, no, I do something like, A happens, B happens. And when someone is giving you all these examples of like successful people in the past through a book, and it's like proof, right? It's like the whole book is just like proof. Like you think something and then it happens. It's like you think something and then it happens, and then by the end you're like, maybe I should start thinking it's gonna happen, right? And both of them are like really stupidly simple books, but they helped me. And then I was like, well, let me read another one. No, let me read another one. And then I remember I had a warehouse job where I was like driving like 30 minutes, over an hour, like 30 minutes there, 45 minutes back because of mad traffic. And at the warehouse, I could have a speaker playing. And that was 8 hours a day plus overtime. So it was like, I could get through like 3 audiobooks in the week, right? So I would just play audiobooks on like, just go all the time. And
How
I
many
think,
books are you reading now?
I remember I've got my Audible. I can pull it up, but it's probably like 50 to 100 like books I read, maybe even more. I don't even know. And it was all around like nonfiction, like self-development, business, finance, psychology, health, biographies of like successful people. So I got really like, I think early on I understood like my mental diet is just as important as like my actual diet, or the conversations I have are going to be important to my mind. So, which is really like what Think and Grow Rich really talks about, is like what you think through the subconscious, and like what your environment kind of predicts who you're going to become. So that was the coolest thing. I think books and audiobooks are the biggest lever movers for me, for sure.
So the books were, would you say your key?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think without the audiobooks and books, I would be lacking a lot of knowledge that.
Now, were you always a reader, or?
I loved reading non-fiction. I loved reading fiction books in primary school. Then I stopped when I got to high school because they start forcing you to read books, and I don't like to be forced to do anything. So my rebellion was like, I'm going to be a crappy English student. And then I picked it up. I went on a holiday, and I remember I was just like, I had nothing to do. I didn't want to be on my phone anymore, and I just like, let me just buy this book, and I did, and I think it started from that, really. Yeah.
See, I wasn't much of a reader. Like, 7th year high school, I didn't like all the books that they were giving me.
Yeah.
And then after I finished school, I think it was a real estate book that I picked up.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is so cool. And then similar to you, I just picked up another one.
Yeah.
And then it started bouncing forth. And I just really thought, like, I think it was just like the topic of what I was reading. And I think what you mentioned was being able to apply it, and like, let's say like the influence, what was it?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That book.
Or 10 Ways to,
You can take those concepts and like instantly apply it, which I love, because you can actually test if this book's real or not.
Right.
Like, I guess, I feel like it's a good way, but to use that for yourself and for your business in terms of making money.
Yeah, for sure. I think business is funny. It's like, I guess everyone gets into it to make money, but then for me, it's become more of a fulfillment thing. It's like, if I really wanted money, I'd probably be doing something else. It's not, the purpose isn't money as much as, of course, a business is there to make money. But yeah, I think when it does come to business, like, there's a lot of moving pieces that you have to put together. I think I wish I could give you a one answer. Yeah, I don't know if there's one thing.
Because I know a lot of young guys, and I was one of them, that just chase as much money as possible. What would you say, and then, they're starting these side hustles and all that kind of stuff. What would you say, basically, you should actually be really focusing on in terms of a business?
I think they should do it. Like, I think that, because again, I'm going to refer back to Alex Hormozy, because I like his thoughts on this. Is like, business is just a vehicle to build yourself up. And it ultimately is, your business is you for a long time, until you can like hire a bunch of people to run it, basically. But for the start of it, it's you, right? So if you don't develop yourself, your business is typically not going to do great. So I think if the way you develop is through business, and like, it just, you're faced with problems and now you have to face them and solve them, it's like, that's cool. Like, that's I think nothing wrong with that. And I think even if the motivation is money, that doesn't matter. It's fine. I think everyone should. It's more of like just do it and go through and then learn to pivot as well. Like always start with the why in mind. Like, why are you doing this? Because business can consume you, and you can be in this like hamster wheel of like money, or like or like work. I just work because I avoid other things, or like you know. But for the most part, you get a lot out of just doing the thing. Yeah, I would say don't even overthink it.
What's been like the biggest teaching from a business side that you've learned that's helped you personally?
I think speed, to be honest, yeah, is like when you like there's a funny like term going around called retard maxing, but
Yeah, I just seen that for a while.
but it's like sometimes the smartest people are not necessarily the ones that do the best in business, because smart people tend to like overthink things. Like it's like you see the risk and the reward, but the risk is usually louder than the reward. Whereas like retards just do it, right? It's like they just have this idea and like, I'm just gonna try, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of time you get better result from just doing that. So yeah, I'm an incredibly impatient person. I don't know if by nature or just like through learning this. But when I like have an idea, it's like I have to get it done in the next hour or like it probably won't get done. So
Have you ever had to jumble between, reading, studying, learning,
yeah,
making sure you know what you're talking about and actually doing?
yeah, I think you learn on the job.
Learn
with
on
a
the
lot
job?
of things. Yeah. I'm a big fan of getting as much knowledge as early as possible. Like the first phase of your life should be like acquiring as much knowledge as possible, because all that does is just stops you from making more mistakes later on. So actually during the lockdowns, what I did was like, well, I can't really be a coach. I stopped futsal coaching. I couldn't do anything. So I was like, well, let me just read about it so that when I go back to it, I'm just a bit better. Like that, and like I'm just gonna make less mistakes.
So you have that process of like that phase that you're talking about.
Yeah.
When is like a good sign that I should probably put the books down and start applying it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think probably when you start to ask that question, probably yeah, like probably then like you probably should have started like a while back. If you're in a job, most jobs are like value-based jobs. Like you're providing value in some way or another, right? If you're confident you can provide value, that's when you should start charging and like make it a job. Before that, honestly, I would if you have the capability and like the time for it, is like just work for free. Get as much experience as you can. Like it's like, I don't know, you're a bricklayer. Like if I wanted to lay bricks now, it'd be zero value because like I'm as good as the next Sally, right? But if I have a year experience and I can do it in half the time, it's like now I have value. Like I'm saving someone time, so I should probably charge for it. Business is just that. It's like value. Cool. Can you provide it? Then you should probably be charging. And you should probably try and work in the field. But I always think you should try and get your foot in the door and get experience. Like even if it's just standing there and watching.
Because I've seen it, even if we like change the dynamic, even from like someone that's like coaching, like if I'm coaching someone, I've seen someone where they have all the tools, they have all the information, they have all the exercise equipment, but they're just not doing it and they want more information. So
yeah, there's definitely a point where studying or like more information just becomes like procrastination. Yeah, I don't know too many people personally that are in that boat, thankfully. But I think if someone's out there and is like, I know all this, I want to start helping people, just start like and just find out for yourself if you can help people. Like maybe you can't, but like try to find out.
Awesome. Okay, I got a little bit of just like a rapid fire of questions. So try and first thing that pops up to your mind, just like
cool.
So I'm just gonna say like a sentence and then use the answer. Try and think of the top. So I try not to butcher this. So success is
growth.
Discipline is
consistency.
confidence is
Belief.
Masculinity is.
Love,
Purpose is.
generosity,
Best book you've ever read.
Think and Grow Rich,
Most underrated habit.
drink water.
One thing every young man should do this year.
Do something you think you can't do.
One lesson you've learned too late.
Not everyone thinks the same as you.
What kind of man are you trying to become?
A resourceful man.
Resourceful man. Wow, that's good. That was some interesting. I like the masculinity one. That's a different. I was so surprised that was the answer. What brought that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that define masculinity are ultimately about selflessness, like providing, being a good father, even things like being able to be strong and capable. It's usually being strong for someone else or being capable for someone else. So it's like that's all out of love and like selflessness. And I think if you ask any man, like we get a lot out of being useful to other people, right? So I think that's the base of it, is like how can we give or become as resourceful as possible for other people. I think we get fulfillment within ourselves. It's not about just like giving for the sake of giving. It's like, it's also like we are going to feel better for it too. Yeah.
So in relation to, I mean, it's a little bit off topic, but how does like competency, like playing the role of being, giving?
Well, you need to be able to do things to help, right? It's like if you aren't more competent than another person, then they can just help themselves. So, I think it just depends, I guess, where the competence we're talking about is. But
yeah, because I feel like I know a lot of guys that they say they want to be that type of man and, be like a provider and all that kind of stuff, but don't have like the skills or abilities to do so. Looking at that, what's the first thing if someone said that to you, like what I'm saying now, basically?
Yeah.
What plays in your head?
I think as men, we have to accept it's going to take a little while for us to basically be fully secure in our masculinity. Like no one's 11 years old. It's like, yeah, I'm the man. It's like, it takes some time, right? And that's okay. It's like, use the time you got now to develop yourself, develop your skills in whatever domain it is you want to be good at. That's really it. It's like over time and just keep growing. Like just don't get complacent. It's not within us to be that anyways, I don't think.
So now we're coming towards the end. I wanted to ask, if you were 18 years old again, knowing everything you know now, and your younger version walked into your gym, what are you teaching him?
Yeah, I think I would have the conversation of what I want long term sooner. Like I'll start with the why. I think start with why is such an important conversation. It's like I almost can't give the answer to younger me. Like younger me has to give the answer. And I think everyone should have a different answer, because like if everyone just did the same thing, the world wouldn't work, right? So yeah, I think start with the desire and understand what it is, because a lot of young men won't even know until they think about it. Like literally just sit there and think about it. And now with like screens and stuff, it's so easy to get distracted. It's like you have a million distractions. You have to be very purposeful and just sit down and be like, all right, let me write down what I want to happen to me.
So starting with the why.
I think so.
Yeah. You told me you're a big reader. What's like one life lesson that what you think a book just can't teach?
Experience, like going through the trials and tribulations. Nothing's a better teacher than that, because even I know there's some things that I've read in books that I've just gone past me, and it isn't until I experience it that I'm like, oh, like that's what it was trying to tell me. So sure, you can read all the books in the world, but like you have to be doing the thing you want to do to really learn. Yeah.
All right, last one. So I want you to try and like imagine there's, a group of young men listening right now. One in particular is feeling overwhelmed, lacks confidence, feels stuck. What would you tell him?
I think insecurity or, poor self-esteem or not feeling confident, sometimes as much as people want to just say be confident, it's not that easy. It's like you have to prove to yourself that you almost deserve to be confident. It's like, why are you unconfident? And sometimes it's irrational, right? Sometimes it's like, you should be confident because you've done something great a million times. It's like, why are you not confident? But a lot of the time it's like, you just simply haven't developed the skills that you want to develop. It comes from like a real place. It's like, what do you want to do? Again, I'm very like, I kind of just lead back to the why. It's like, why are you unconfident? like answer it for yourself. Like the answer is within you. You just have to really sit there and ask. And it's always uncomfortable. That's the thing. It's like, that's why people don't do it.
Yeah.
Because we're comfort monkeys. Like we try and just stay with whatever's comfortable. So find why you're overwhelmed, find why you're unconfident, and seek someone that maybe displays the character's traits that you want, and be around them. Honestly, just be around those type of people, because you'll pick up things and you'll slowly move towards more like them. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great answer. If someone was watching this wanted to find you or work with you, how would they go about that?
Just shoot me a message on Instagram. Is probably the most used platform. Most people.
Which I'll tag.
Yeah, my Instagram is just my name, mal.amador.
I'll shoot you a message on Insta.
Yeah, just shoot me a DM. I reply to all my DMs. I have a couple of businesses on the side, but I think just follow me. Like, they'll get announced soon. I guess the gym, if you want to come check out the gym, everyone that watches this can come say hi, and try a class for free, or try a session for free. Yeah, I want to get as many people in the door as I can. So I think it's great what we got going on, and the environment's killer. Like, it's just a fun place to be around. So yeah, I would
appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you.